So, video 2, asking the question, are Hastings Direct deliberately misleading customers? I've created this second video because I wanted to let you listen to the advice being offered to customers by Hastings Direct staff. If you haven't caught video 1 yet, there's a link in the description below that'll show you some of the paperwork issued by Hastings Direct. From a personal point of view, I knew when creating video 1 that both me and my wife had been told directly by Hastings Direct staff that we had third-party cover for driving other cars. Some people watching that video may wonder why my wife didn't simply add me to her policy originally. Well, she did try. Here's a note from the Hastings system documenting that very call. Within that same call, she was advised not to worry as your husband will be covered third party through his policy. Since my accident, of course, I found Hastings refusing to cover any claim, and this very call has strangely gone missing from their system. Here's the email we've been sent explaining the disappearance. From experience, there are times where our system provider has had outages, and this has meant that calls have not been recorded, as would appear to be the case here. It does seem very odd though that the one call we're missing is the one in which my wife tries to add me to her policy and is directly advised that we would both be covered for driving other cars third party. I should also mention that you can clearly see in this note that it claims my wife didn't have my job title. Well, of course my wife knows and provided my correct job title, but because Hastings didn't have an exact match on their system, they refused to add me onto my wife's policy as a named driver, even though I'm with Hastings myself and the advisor could have looked up my policy details and transferred the information across. So, let's forget about this suspiciously missing call for a moment and jump straight into our other calls we've been sent. Firstly, listening to the section where my cover is explained. Now, I allowed my cover to roll over this year from last, so this call is from the last time I spoke with Hastings to discuss my level of cover.
Access 95 compulsory, and I've got your standard benefit are as follows. So you've got a key cover, courtesy car, EU, personal belongings, personal accident, medical expenses, child seat cover, windscreen cover, driving other cars.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
I suppose I should probably ask where I'm on. Does that include my no claims cover?
Yeah, it includes the protection on that as well.
Great.
Let's listen to that again.
Windscreen cover, driving other cars.
Cover for driving other cars. No mention here of exclusions. It would appear Hastings Direct believe they can advise that you have cover, then leave it to their paperwork to strip that cover away. So let's see what they advise when you try to explain that you've been told previously that you have cover for driving other cars after you've had an accident.
So if you were misadvised on a phone call, that would be a complaint point. However, it wouldn't affect the policy side of things, because it's in the writing that you're not covered. So technically, we can't make any adjustments.
Right. So they feel they can misadvise and mislead over the telephone, and that's just a complaint. What you're told over the phone clearly doesn't matter, so long as they've sent out their exclusions paperwork to your online account. So let's summarise for a moment. We know from video 1 that the front cover of your paperwork is pretty much meaningless, because that states your policy is based on your certificate of insurance and schedule. Of course, we now know most of their exclusions are hidden within the 50-page policy document. The certificate of insurance and schedule don't mean much, because whatever cover these advise of are again stripped back in that secondary 50-page policy document again. But now we find out the advice customers are being offered over the telephone is also meaningless too, so misinformation provided would form a complaint rather than any type of policy agreement. Let's hear more from their staff post-accident about the level of cover I had at the time. This call was the day of the accident.
However, if you do have driving other cars, it only covers you for third-party cover only, which means if you're driving another car, another cover, we would only cover third-party damages only.
Stop you for a moment, because
But let me just...
And this one the following day.
Okay, so because this is the DOC covers for the third party only, we wouldn't be able to cover any damages to your partner's vehicle, unfortunately. But we will cover all the third party, okay?
yeah.
Okay, so Hastings employees clearly believe I'm covered third party too and are clearly misadvising customers over the telephone. Now, let's hear the advice my wife was given previously when taking out her policy.
Your policy has driving other cars. There are terms and conditions to that. So it is only a car and no other type of transport. You drive you drive with the owner's permission. And make sure it's got insurance on it. It needs to be insured. It can't be owned by yourself, so it can't be another car that you own. And
no, it wouldn't be.
no, I'm just giving you all the terms because people don't realise all the terms and conditions attached to driving other cars. And you drive third party only. So although your policy is comprehensive, if you drive somebody else's car, it is only third party. So if they don't want you to drive their car third party, your option then would be to go on their policy, maybe as a temp. That's right, yeah, to go on their policy either as a permanent or temporary named driver. So yeah, but otherwise you could still drive their car, but the car would only be covered a third party if you're driving it. All right.
Yeah, that's fine. Brilliant. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so definitely covered for driving other cars then. You can clearly hear the advisor stating she wanted to go through all the exclusions too. So you complain to Hastings Direct, and what do they say? Let's look at their reply to our complaint, which I should mention doesn't really address any of the points made in my original complaint letter. So what do they say? Well, they can clearly find calls they're not prepared to send out. And they tell you that even though they may advise you have cover, they send out documentation to state you don't. So that's all fine then, is it? In my opinion, if what Hastings Direct are doing is legal, and I'm still waiting to hear from the Ombudsman, you'd have to suggest that it's morally reprehensible. Or maybe they think it's okay because they may advise you're covered, but they're not going to explain how you're not. Let's be straight here. You should be telling customers if they're not covered. That's your job as an insurance company or broker. To advise customers they have cover and then leave it to the terms and conditions or policy booklet to strip away that cover is completely unacceptable in my opinion. So here's that question again. You've seen the paperwork, you've listened to the calls. Are Hastings Direct deliberately misleading customers? Feel free to comment below and please share this video amongst your friends. I wouldn't want others finding themselves in the same situation and placing their partner or spouse into a situation where Hastings Direct claim they are liable to repay third-party damages. Thanks for watching.